Hello, 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 everybody. I'm Dasha Jamison with Red Rock Pastel Society of Nevada, and today you guys invited to award ceremony virtually. This year we had two amazing divisions, Open and Masters, and today we have a judge of Open Division, Jacob Aguirre, joining us. But before we start, of course, huge thanks to our sponsors and our fellow pastel societies, Pastel Society of America, Cape Cod Pastel Society, and Central Mass Pastel Society for sponsoring Awards of Excellence for Master Division. And of course, our amazing industry sponsors. Without them, we will not have pastels. Thank you to Austin Hamby, and congratulations on baby Adrian, who joined Show Submit team a couple of days ago. May I ask you guys mute if you speaking? That will really help amplified noise, kind of. Thank you to all Red Rock members and our amazing volunteers. Sherry with our Facebook group, and she's helping to let me people in right now. Mary Blending, who is running our membership, and you guys will be receiving your member letter soon. Thank you all for joining and appreciate your continuing support. And G, who is welcoming everybody at our Facebook group and being that friendly, cheering person. Alena, who took over Instagram. So make sure you guys active on our social media, and let's say thank you to our volunteers. Thank you, guys. Without you, it will be very hard to manage. And our exhibition was curated by jurors of selection for Open Division, Tonya Lane, Adrian Giuliani, and Sergei Petelia. Thank you guys for curating beautiful show and giving our judge of Open Division kind of a hard job to select winners. Thank you so much. And a huge thanks to juror and judge for Master's Division, Lina Salta. She cannot be here today, but we will get to it a little bit later. She's sending everybody greetings and thank everyone who find the bravery to enter Master's Division, and kudos on qualifying to be in Master's Division. And please meet Jacob Aguirre, our amazing.
Yay, Jacob! Yay!
Yay.
Hey, thanks.
Terry, may I ask you to spotlight Jacob for everybody? I cannot exit from the presentation to do so.
I have no idea, Mary.
Please check out Jacob's
I can't do it because I'm not a co-host.
You can follow him on Instagram. Just I'll be able to do it in a second. We will start with Jurors Award, but it's kind of look impressive when you put it side by side. And we hope you guys follow Jacob on Patreon for amazing videos and stuff. Lala is not happy at daycare right now, so. But we will start with awards. And Tony cannot be here today. He's sending greetings, everybody. He is at friend's dinner, but he wanted to say what for him. For him, good art makes three components: revelation, communication, and celebration. And in his opinion, that painting had all three of those components. Crossing by Patrick Henry as a Juror's Choice Award. Patrick, I know you're here. Congratulations. Bravo. This is amazing work by Tonya Lane. Congratulations, Patrick. Next, Juror's Choice by Adrian Giuliani. And Adrian chose Beauty by Anita Lobeti. Amazing portrait. Adrian shared comments what we guys will be sharing on social media and also publishing in our catalog. I will say what Adrian mentioned, what this portrait truly speak to her. She would like to meet this lady, have a cup of tea with her, and hear her story. When art speaks to you, I guess it makes a choice. And this time, jurors' choices did not compete with judges' choices. So everybody got to keep their original choice. So that's showing how everybody looks different at the artwork, but when you have certain amounts to choose, you pick something what speaks to you. Congratulations, Anita, and thank you, Adrian. Next juror choose by Sergey Petele. Sergey is here. And he said, for him, art needs to be surprising and open for interpretation. So let's see what he chose. Deep in the Underbrush by Tanya Trinkas Glass. Congratulations, Tanya. And this painting definitely surprising and open for interpretation. Thank you, Sergey, for your choice.
Thank you. Sorry, yes. Thank you.
And let me spotlight Jacob right now, okay? Can you guys see Jacob now?
Yes, on the side.
Yes, on the side, but that's okay. We can still see him.
Okay, no, that's the point. And please meet Jacob. Thank you so much for being judge of our awards, and we will go towards what Jacob chose. Can you say a couple of words about what you look at while you judge the show?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. No, thanks for having me, Dasha. As always, it's a great honor to judge a show. Giving awards, especially when there's only like 6 or 7 awards for a really competitive show, it's a really challenging job. And in a show like this, where the level is consistently fairly high, to some extent, I'm looking for something kind of different. A piece where I can scroll through the thumbnails, on the platform, that's hosting the show, and pieces will kind of immediately jump out at me. And usually it's something, I'm looking for something different. A piece that's really, well handled technically may jump out, but usually it's something I haven't seen before. It's something that really makes me go like, wow, that's cool, that's interesting. Or a piece that I have to really linger on, that I have to spend a lot of time trying to understand it, like there's more of a conversation between the viewer and the piece versus it all necessarily being stated in the piece itself. So yeah, I mean, it's a great honor. I'm happy to talk about these pieces. I think it was a great show overall.
Thank you so much, Jacob.
Sure.
We will start traditionally with honorable mentions in no any particular order. Congratulations, everybody, and congratulations to everybody who had the bravery to enter show. We have, as Jacob say, so many awards to choose, but everybody did outstanding job. It takes bravery to be in a show and courage. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And first honorable mention goes to Anna Dinkel, Pink Dreams. Jacob?
Yes. So I gave this piece an award. One, I think it's a really, really nicely handled figurative work. It doesn't show up great on Zoom, just the quality of the image, but what really struck me is the handling of all the hatching and sort of the subtle value shifts and the color temp shifts in the skin in particular, like along the face, along the shoulder. Really, really skillful handling of the medium and just, understanding the fundamentals. And it's a piece too where honestly, when I squint down, it almost has almost like a photorealistic effect because the values are so good. And so this was a piece I immediately, when I was scrolling through, was drawn to. And then as I spent more time with it, you know, looking at the variety of application, again, the hatching, a lot of the energy that's in that red,
showing in, so it's a little
or that red furry jacket that she's wearing. And then that kind of juxtaposed against the large sort of soft marks in the back. And, you know, it's really interesting what this artist did compositionally, you know, that the face is certainly the center of interest. And what I end up doing is I follow the face down along the neck. Like there's that really graceful swoop down along the neck. There's that bit of white to like a blouse or something there. And then my eye circles down to the red and then to that little violet, kind of pinkish violet part of the clothing down in the bottom right. But then the foot is placed beautifully because then my eye sort of swoops off the piece back up to the foot, and then the foot takes me over to the face again. So there's almost this circular composition that keeps me engaged in the piece. That's really skillful. I feel like, you know, when I looked at the piece, if I eliminate the foot, the composition kind of falls apart. So that was a really, really smart decision by this artist to include that sort of high heel or whatever platform, whatever that kind of shoe is, including that in the scene was a really smart decision. So it was super successful. I'll say, I mean, I'm not here to give a full critique of the piece. It may have even won a bigger award. The only thing I was, you know, the hands, I felt like the drawing could have been a little bit more refined on the hands, but the overall impact of the piece is it's a strong piece. It's a powerful piece.
Thank you so much, Jacob. Congratulations, Anna.
Yeah,
She
congrats.
works a lot figuratively, and she works a lot of with fashion, and this piece, great representation of your abilities as an artist.
Shows all that. Absolutely. Yep, it's a beautiful piece.
And next honorable mention goes to Slow Order at MP55 by Douglas James Stewart. Congrats.
I actually love the fact that those pieces are side by side, Dasha, because they're completely different. You know, the other piece is about sort of energy and movement and sort of organic shape and the human figure and emotion. Whereas for me, this piece is really about the geometry and the strength of it. It's a really, really strong piece. The shapes are super strong. When I squint down, and I can imagine, like, as a notan, you would be able to tell on as at like a little, you know, 2 by 2.5 inch black and white notan, that this would work really, really well as a bigger piece, as long as it's kept fairly simple. And that's what this artist did. You know, the background is completely simplified. You basically have almost a posterization of the background, the sky, kind of the mountain, and then that darker blue background area. It allows that to just remain really, really quiet. And then you actually, you know, come over to the side of the train and you start to see, you know, some of the just beautiful handling of the surface. You get a sense of, you know, just the age and the weather of this train, but it still has a really, really nice strength to it. So this to me was, again, it was an immediately impactful piece because of the strength of the geometry. The fact that it's almost a square composition really accentuates the strength of those shapes. You know, a square kind of creates a bit more tension in a piece, and it sort of highlights some of the asymmetry that's within it because it, you know, it's symmetrical. Say it's like 8 by 8, yeah, the same, you know, same length of sides. Anytime there's a strong asymmetry within that picture plane, it really becomes emphasized. So I thought the artist did a really great job with that, and a really nice job of simplifying the scene down.
Thank you so much, Jacobs. Congratulations, Doug.
Yeah, congrats, Doug.
Amazing work, strong shapes, everything done just beautifully.
Really well. Yep.
Next honorable mention, guys. Early Light on Wagner Creek by Kelly Jacobs.
Yeah, congrats, Kelly. So I actually tend to, as a landscape painter, I don't tend to necessarily be drawn to landscapes when I'm giving awards. And I've talked with other, artists about this. I feel like part of it is there's less mystery to the process for me because I'm relatively successful at painting landscapes, and so I can kind of get a sense of how an artist achieves a landscape. Whereas sometimes with like figures, I'm just so completely blown away by the process. But this piece, it really stood out to me because of sort of the tonal quality of the light, sort of the softness of it. There's really just gorgeous use of kind of neutral cool blues, neutral pinks, the color in the sky, really beautiful softening of the different shapes of the scene, and then some really cool techniques too. In particular, in that background stand of trees on the left, you can tell there's a bit of a splatter effect, which honestly, it kind of just looks like maybe alcohol to kind of dull it, darken it, sit it back there a little bit. Compositionally, it's a really classic kind of S-curve composition, taking you back to that the nice area in the upper right-hand corner, that light sort of streaking through and hitting that back area. So it's a beautiful kind of moody landscape piece. It's really, really effectively executed.
Thank you so much, Jacob.
Mhm.
Great job by Kelly. And she has another piece in the show, and they both very, very strong. Congratulations. Next honorable mention, Chateau de Valin and Friends by Melissa Lozano.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Congrats. Yeah, I gave this award because this piece has a sort of a freshness and an aliveness and a beauty to it. It looks to me like it may have been done in plein air. I'm not familiar with this artist's work, I don't believe. And I'll just say, I'm going to take a quick step back. One of the nice things about judging this show is I actually didn't recognize a lot of the styles, which was nice because if you're judging, say, like IAPS or one of the bigger shows, like what Tony Elaine's work looks like, you know what like Liz Haywood Sullivan's work looks like, and you're trying to not be influenced by that, but it's almost a bit of a head game. Whereas like with this show, it was free of all of that prior knowledge. It was really, really nice to just look at the work in isolation and say, okay, how does the quality of the work stand up? And I just love the sketchy quality of this. I would love to have been able to produce a piece like this out in plein air. I'm assuming it's plein air. I might be wrong, but it really has, again, the energy and the aliveness of a plein air piece. It is a successful composition. I kind of thought less about composition and more about the energy of it. I can imagine, being out there on a hill, looking down into kind of a valley and seeing that chateau and the hills in the background, knowing that the light was going to change pretty quickly on you and just kind of getting in there and kind of scribbling something in. But it's very accurate too. I feel like the handling of the buildings really nice. The trees, I love, especially the kind of larger tree on the left-hand side of the bigger part of the building, right up above it. It's just so beautifully done with a couple of those little dark shadow areas. Now, on the whole, I think it's just a super, super successful kind of, sketchy piece. I think it's gorgeous.
Gorgeous piece, a lot of energy. Nice job, Melissa. And this artist works a lot of figuratively. That's how I know her work. But this is very brave, impressionistic like piece. So congrats, Melissa.
Mm-hmm.
And next award is very special award established by one of our founding members, one of the first members, and it's Darius Memorial Award. And this award goes to Barbara Johnson, Cape May Marsh.
Yeah, congrats. Again, another piece who, the style was not recognizable to me. And I think this piece and the next two, what really stood out to me was the sort of the strength of application and the kind of the confidence that comes through. To me, when I look at this, there's not a lot of sort of second guessing of what this artist was going for. Really intentional, placement of that really intense blue shadow next to the golds and the kind of grass there. But interestingly, it's not just blue against gold. the gold has been neutralized with little hatching of like a lighter cool blue, which just settles it down a little bit, but you still get kind of that complementary effect of those two colors next to each other. Really, really contrasty, almost a black in the shadows of those tree trunks. Just on the whole, just a really, really, really strong composition. And it's interesting because I often will tell artists, be careful about putting a strong horizontal at about the midway line. This does have that background stand of trees about the midline, but it's really almost kind of camouflage because you have those really strong verticals of the trees on the left, and they kind of extend down, covering up much of that back tree line. And it bridges between the ground and the sky plane. I just love the energy here and the confidence. I would love to be able to paint a piece that feels this confident. I tend to be, really slow and maybe a little bit methodical and kind of slowly building up a piece. To me, this looks like, this artist had a plan and she just went in and executed it beautifully.
Thank you so much, Jacob. Gorgeous piece, very delicious color-wise. Color palette here is just very simple, but very strong and amazing, and a lot of bright colors too. Not muted, but they all play nicely together. Congratulations, Barbara. And now we're going to our third place main awards, but they all main awards. Okay, guys, so third place.
Yeah.
Sarah Vashti, Bridget Childs.
Okay. Yeah. Congrats. So this was another piece that the strength of it, the confidence with color really stood out to me. You can tell this artist took some real liberties in terms of how, probably also how they compose this. There is that really strong S curve, really gives a strong sense of perspective in this piece. But the S curve is also a little bit kind of hidden because you have some of these other lily pads up in the left-hand corner. You have, I'm not that familiar with kind of the anatomy of these plants, but like, I don't know if they're like stems that are connecting. So to me, it almost has being a doctor, like it almost has like a human anatomy feel to it. Like there are these different almost, and this is probably me projecting, but like almost like different little organ systems. And there's almost like these vessels that are connecting it. I loved it. I think compositionally it's handled really beautifully. I've tried painting lily pads. I actually think they're a lot harder than some artists make them look. People like Jeannie Rosier Smith or this artist. I know of a couple others, and it's not easy to pull this off in an effective way. And this is, to me, a pretty unique take on it. Like it's not meant to be truly representational. It takes that and then it sort of takes it to another level. It elevates it to another level. So I think it was a really, really successful piece.
Thank you so much, Jacob and Bridget, supporting our shows for a long time. This artist has very strong, recognizable style and a palette, and its consistency from piece to piece. So,
okay.
but it's very optimistic palette. So I'm color driven, and it's always visually pleasing to see her pieces. Congratulations, Bridget. Third place. Thank you. Congrats. Second place.
Yeah. So oh, sorry. You
And
need
Deep
to.
Lake, Autumn is Here by Mike Ishikawa.
Yep. Yeah. Congrats, Mike. So the last three pieces, they're really about, to me, confidence, sort of boldness, taking a leap, going for it. I didn't recognize this artist's work, and then I saw, once you put this together, I met Mike at IAPS. He took my painting the snow one day workshop, and by the end of the day, he had done like 3 18x24s and probably could have done another one. So I know his work is it's immediate. It's a very quick response to the scene. He's confident color, confident mark making. Again, I always, when I'm evaluating these pieces, always squinting. Really strong design of this piece. Really, really beautifully executed. strong, confident palette here as well. And just energy. I look at this and the first thing that comes to mind is energy. There's a certain energy to his mark making, which is impressive for a guy who I believe is over 80 years old. If I could have the energy that he has at 40 years old, I would be ecstatic. And the energy really comes through here. Super, super energetic piece. I loved it. It was one of those pieces, again, as I always, when I start judging, again, I kind of scroll through and I will mark the pieces that immediately, even seeing them as a thumbnail, that'll immediately jump out as possible award winners. And this was one of the first pieces that I said, like, ooh, that could be an award winner. And I marked it. And then when I go in and do a much more sort of in-depth or thorough analysis of the pieces, it's one of them that really stood towards the top of the heap throughout that entire process. So it's a great piece. Congrats, Mike.
Congratulations, Mike. Thank you, Jacob. And I had a chance to paint with Mike side by side. He's very productive. He took Richard's workshop, who is methodical, and we were working on a piece maybe 9 by 12 for like a couple of days,
Yeah.
and Mike just brought along like 10 self-mounted surfaces, and he just complete like 8 paintings in a day.
It's
And
unreal.
I do not know how many he done in a workshop, but he says, I come here, I listen to instructor, but I do always my own thing, and he just goes and paints.
Yeah.
And he's architect, and it's incredible to see how he still keeps his geometry and feeling of geometry, but moving towards abstraction. So for him, it's a big leap. Very
Yeah.
successful piece. Congratulations, Mike. And
Yeah, and I think, just speaking to that, he has that background in drawing, so his foundational skills in handling the drawing of a painting is really, really strong. And I think that allows him to go in and choose these colors, make these really bold marks, because he's so confident in his ability to compose and his ability to draw. What I find sometimes in artists who I'm working with in workshops or even on Patreon is that I think sometimes when we're not confident where we're putting our marks, we tend to be really tentative with them, or we'll make a mark and then we'll sort of blend it because we're not quite sure that it's in the right place. There's really none of that with him. It's like he knows where he's putting the mark, he's confident in it, and it's going to be in the right place. So yeah, it's really, really well done piece.
and also Mike, one of those people who got 3 paintings
Oh.
in front of a judge. So that's also benefit of submitting more pieces to let jurors to choose how many pieces to put in the show. And all the pieces strong, but this one was very special. Congratulations, Mike.
And I tell people too, if you're going to submit to one of these shows, it's usually only what, $10 or $15 more to submit an additional piece. I always, so any show that I enter, I always submit the max number of pieces, except for like the plein air salon, which is infinite. But like, IAPS or PSA, just submit the max amount, submit the most pieces you can that fit the criteria for the show. Because there have been plenty of times where it wasn't the piece that I thought was the best that may have gotten into the show or gotten an award. We're not always the best, critics of our own work. So, and what I'll sometimes do is I'll pick 2 pieces that I think are kind of safe bets for me. It's like, okay, these are good pieces for me. I'm doing something here I think is really successful. And then for the third one, I'll maybe choose a piece that's totally different. Like I'm going out on a limb, I'm taking a leap, I'm trying a different approach, different subject matter. And sometimes it's that third one that I may not have thought was necessarily the strongest piece, but it is a different approach, or I'm trying something different that may get into a show. So, take some chances with submissions too.
Totally agree. Thank you so much, Jacob.
Mhm.
And we are on our first place in open division. And it goes to Mountain Impression Gerlach by Sebastian Iljuk.
Yeah, congratulations, Sebastian. So this piece I chose because I get such a a strong sense of place and a sense of time. Like I really get a feeling for this specific moment in time. And that's in large part, I think, due to the way that the light was handled here. Sometimes in a scene like this, we may have a tendency to push that contrast between the light part of the mountain and the shadow part of the mountain, thinking, well, it's in shadow, so it has to be clearly darker than the light. This to me looks more like a sunrise than a sunset because of the pinkish hue. But you can see when you squint down, there's actually a very, very subtle shift in the value between the shadow and the light part of it. That to me shows a real familiarity with this type of scene. And maybe the artist has actually done some plein air work of this scene or of a similar area to really understand that quality of light. And, if you're a landscape painter, even a figurative artist or a still life artist, working from life should really be a part of your painting practice, because I think it's hard to capture this sense of light if all you're doing is painting from photos. So again, the strength of this piece for me is I feel like I'm there. Like I feel like I'm experiencing that sense of light, that time of day. Like it's a bit cool. Maybe there's a little bit of mist in the air and the sun starting to rise. Like I feel like this piece really, really captures the moment for me. And that's what I try to do in landscapes too, is, trying to capture that moment in time. Because oftentimes landscapes change, for instance, like this area, who knows, maybe those trees in the foreground might get logged one day, or part of the mountainside could just slough off, and then it's a totally different landscape. So it's about the capturing of the time and the feeling of this piece that really stood out for me.
It's gorgeous piece, gorgeous time of day, nicely done. Congratulations, Sebastian. Thank you, Jacob. And we on to the best in show. Are you excited, guys?
I'm excited.
I'm excited too. And best in show is Chama River Sessions by Rachel Pearson. Ta-da!
So this was a piece that just stood out to me so much because of its uniqueness. I went back to this piece far more than any other painting in the show. And it's because I really wanted to try to understand it. It's like this patchwork quilt of a landscape. And, as I looked at it time and time again, there were new things that I would sort of discover. So for instance, in the upper left-hand corner there, it looks to me like that's a value card. Those little value cards with the cutouts, which the artist probably would have used out there plein air painting to try to understand the values. So it's this interesting connection and combination between materials and the artist's process and the landscape itself. So you have that, you have the easel on the left-hand side with the piece there. You have that really interesting kind of road barrier, the metal road barrier in the bottom right-hand corner. And then you have the palette sitting there. And then it almost looks like, now I'm just noticing this for the first time, there's like a second easel in the bottom right-hand corner. I never noticed that before. So even now, I've probably looked at this piece 15 times. I'm still seeing new things that are really drawing me into it and wanting me to explore. So this is where, as I said earlier, like developing a conversation with the viewer. Like you don't need to explain everything fully. Like you want to leave some mystery. You want to leave a reason for the viewer to come back to a piece. You want them to fill in the story of the painting. And then as you go into the scene itself, it looks like there's almost like 3 different rivers that are in here. There's some hay bales. And then almost looks like there's maybe a thunderstorm in the background with some, almost like a southwest kind of monsoon, like a really ominous sky in one part of it, then like a clear blue sky in another part of it. So I was just absolutely intrigued and kind of mesmerized by the way that the artist handled this piece. And what's interesting is on Show Submit, when you give an award to a piece, it actually kind of grays out or blacks out the artist's other pieces, so you don't actually accidentally give them multiple awards. In this piece was completely different from the other piece that the artist submitted. Like that was a more traditional landscape, beautifully handled, but it wasn't, to me, it didn't go out on a limb. It didn't take a leap like this piece did. this could have been a piece, honestly, where another judge may not have given it an award at all. But it was just something about it just, again, drew me back time and time again. I just think it's such an interesting piece. I'd be curious how large it is too. You know, I could see this being really impactful as like a nice big, like 24 by 32 or something like that, where you could really get up close to it and really kind of explore each of those sort of individual paintings. It's like 6 or 7 paintings in one. So I think it's phenomenal, and it was really the standout piece for me. I almost gave it, at one point I had it in second place, and then I looked more at it, and then I moved it up to first place, and then I started questioning myself, because I thought, well, gosh, am I being kind of silly giving this piece the best of show award? But then by the end of it, it was like, no, to me, this was the most intriguing, the most sort of overall most successful piece that I saw in the show. So I loved it. So congrats to the artist.
Thank you so much, Jacob. Congratulations, Rachel. It's a very unique piece, very strong and mesmerizing. I
Mhm.
hope you guys will take time to enjoy it later on a website. And thank you for your comments, Jacob. That was
Absolutely.
okay. Thank you so much. Congratulations to everybody in the open division. Let's take a little briefer. Let me unspotlight Jacob. Thank you so much for your time today. And you can stay to celebrate our masters. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And we are on to our masters division. I'm not reading chat, guys. I hope you're with us, and not bored with me yet. I hope you will join Jacob on Patreon, and it's just Jacob Aguirre Fine Art, and you can join for free, and there is a lot of useful information, and also stay tuned to his social media. And we're on our master's division. It's the first year we're doing it. We had judge and juror, Lina Salda, who curated this part of our show, and it was a very interesting task, because some of these artists are established masters, and Lynn will share what she is looking into pieces. You guys let me know if you can hear sound, okay?
Hi. It was truly an honor to have been asked by Dasha to jury the selections for this new Masters Division category in the Red Rock 2024 Juried Member Online Exhibition, as well as to serve as the judge of awards in this category. For those artists who met the criteria for this division, I've expected a lot from you. Not only did I make my selections based on the usual requirements, strong composition, a mastery of technique in the pastel medium, competent use of color, engaging subject matter, but I also wanted more. I wanted a narrative of some sort. I wanted unique perspectives, not in the sense of 1 or 2 point perspective, but in the sense of the way the artist approached the subject of their painting. I wanted originality. I wanted to see a deep knowledge of making connections from artist to viewer, subject matter that had been approached in an original, highly personal way. In short, I wanted to see the artist's individuality, to hear their voice in the paintings that they submitted. And I believe that the award winners gave me the best of that. For all of you, it takes courage to enter an exhibition. But I believe that courage is bolstered by the desire to show others who you are as an artist. So no matter what level you're at or where you think you stand in relation to other artists, don't ever be afraid to keep painting what moves you, to have confidence in your ability to see your own unique way and to paint your truth. With that, I'll turn this segment over to Dasha once again to read my selections and to hand out the awards for the Masters Division. Thank you all so much.
Let me turn it over. And Lynn shared amazing commentary for all the master's work. But guys, I will spare you from reading all of them, okay? We will post it on our social media later, and it's also will be published in our exhibition catalog. So I do not know how we're going to do it with 2 divisions, but I'm sure it will be one book, and we will share commentaries what Jacob shared today and what Lynn and our jurors of selection shared before. So right now we just on to awards, and let's celebrate Masters Division, okay, together with awards of excellence. We have 3 of them, and they are sponsored by our fellow pastel societies. That's truly honor how groups of pastelists support each other, and it's a very nice feeling to be part of this community. So first award of excellence goes to River Earn Winter by Tony Elaine.
Who's that?
Um,
I'm kidding.
It's a guy from Scotland.
Oh, he's an artist? Did he painted these?
Recently, so thank you.
Just kidding.
Yeah, just kidding. Yeah, who is this guy? We do not know. He's at dinner, so I did not spoil surprise for him. Congratulations, Tony, and truly mastery. I will not give my own commentary, but this painting speaks for itself. Next award of excellence. Venus Speaks by Bernadette de Cesare. And this artist has, I guess it needs to be a Masters division in the show next year, because I know Bernadette won awards in probably 3 of our past shows, and this piece is also got attention of our judge, Lynn. Congratulations. And next award of excellence goes to Laura Pollock, Outside Pressures. I know Laura is online, and her stunning work I had the pleasure to paint at IAPS with her during doing demos, and I saw how she creates her magic in person. It's something to see, guys. Thank you so much, Laura, for supporting our show, and congratulations. Third place, Rio Rancho Roper by Lynn Boucher. Very unusual composition. Lynn speaks about this piece in her commentary. Very strong piece, and this artist has 2 pieces. I think Lynn allowed just 2 pieces by the masters into the show. So both pieces by this artist very strong, and one got this award. Third place, Lynn Boucher, Rio Rancho Roper. It's almost a tongue twister to pronounce the name. So that's interesting how artists put a thought, not just in the artistry, but in the naming of a piece. Congratulations. Second place. Second place goes to Organically Grown by Corey Goulet. As usual, amazing. Love work by this artist. Also have 2 pieces in the show, very different, and this one stands out. Congratulations, Corey. First place award. Ta-da! Cardinal by Sergei Petelia. Artist is here, very strong composition and minimal design, everything what this artist known for, all in this piece. First place, Cardinal by Sergei Petelia. Congratulations. Best in show. Can I have a drum roll? It's quiet here.
Drum roll, drum roll.
Thank you, Anne. And Best in Show goes to Covering Number 4 by Christine Obers. Stunning piece. Congratulations, Christine. Also, this artist support our shows for a long time and known for her hyper-realistic work. I'm not sure if you can say this term, but this is very alive piece and very strong, well-deserved Best in Show for our Masters division. Congratulations, Christine. I will share Lynn's commentary on our social media. So guys, make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We will be posting Masters Division with Lynn's commentary soon. It will be also in our catalog, so stay tuned to our email updates when it will be done. Make sure you have high resolution images because I will be asking you to send them to me. And thanks again to our sponsors. Please, award winners, give me a couple of days to get everything together and get your diplomas. It will be heading your way soon. Congratulations. And next show. So can you guess the theme of the next show?
Green?
It's interesting. Yeah, I photographed this set by Terry Ludwig yesterday by our blue windows, and it's supposed to be yellow. Okay, so but blue. I have kind of like pistachio light in golden hour. In our high-rise building, we have blue tinted windows, so it kind of gives everything like at a daytime cold blue hue, and in the afternoon, it's green, but it's yellow and it's going to be online and it's going to be very interesting, but you have plenty of time to work on it. And I need a little bit of time to prepare for it. Thank you guys again. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you for being here. All the Red Rock members, gorgeous show. If you haven't a chance to check it out, go online. It will have published awards in a minute when we hang up. Thank you so much. Make sure you follow us on YouTube channel if you're watching this recording and on all our social media. Thank you. The end. Yay.
Thank you, Dasha, and the whole crew. It's a beautiful, beautiful
Dasha.
show and a lot of work.
Thank you, Dasha. Thank you, everyone.